welcome and thank you for coming to share your story.
Of
And for
course.
that, then let's start in learning about you and what inspired you to pursue surrogacy.
Yeah. Well, I have to say my son Otto is in the background and he's playing with a pack of wipes. So you might hear some crinkling in the
Awesome.
background. But we ultimately I wasn't able to carry and my husband and I had been together for a really long time without any success. And Fairfax was a recommendation from our fertility clinic. So that's how we kind of got started in our journey.
So that's the second question. How did your surrogacy journey begin? Like how
Yeah.
when you started to pursue surrogacy because as you were mentioning before that you could not conceive after certain time. Um,
Yeah,
you started
yeah.
first.
We had tried to get pregnant, goodness, for 10-ish years. But as time went on, we learned more about my body and what it was capable of. And after going through a couple of rounds of IVF ourselves, our clinic in San Antonio, our doctor there, Dr. Failer, she really knew what my body was capable of. And yeah, she delivered that news, and while it was really sad, at one time it was also kind of a relief to know that through all the years of trying, there was really a medical reason as to why I couldn't. But yeah, we actually started our journey back in uh it was at the kind of the middle of COVID. I think we started like the summer of 2020 is when we started our journey. Mhm.
Wait, when you started your journey, did you know anything about surrogacy? You heard from the doctor that you were seeing? Did you hear about surrogacy before? How that started? What steps did you take to get started once
Yeah.
you knew?
Yeah, my probably like most people with a birth date in the 80s, my impression of surrogacy was Phoebe from Friends, how she carried her brother's kids. So that was my initial impression of surrogacy. But Dr. Courtney Failer at Aspire in San Antonio, she did a great job of always being open to like what the next steps are and presenting those next steps to us. And so she said, well, Carrie, while like you're not able to carry, you still have great embryos with your husband and you don't have a lack of eggs or embryos. And so that's why surrogacy became an easy option for us, just because we had good quality embryos.
Would you say that in order to have a surrogacy journey for parents in the future, they should think in advance of getting embryos from them,
Uh,
or that was part of your IVF when you started to get pregnant and you couldn't, and that's
it was, let's see here. We knew I went through one egg retrieval and we used all of those embryos on myself. And then in my particular instance, I was actually scheduled for a hysterectomy, just to make my life a little bit easier since we knew this was all kind of concrete and had medical reasons as to why I couldn't carry anymore. And so we actually did a secondary egg retrieval in order to pursue. Well, at that time, we weren't exactly sure what we were going to do, if we were going to go down the road of a surrogate or not. But it was better for us to be safe than sorry. And so we went ahead and did another egg retrieval because my husband's insurance covered it. Mhm.
oh, that's
And
great.
I'm going to grab my baby because he's a little
Yes,
fussy.
please. I would love to see him. And I'm sure everyone watching would love to see the baby.
Yes, we are accidentally color matching
Oh my God,
today.
you're so baby. You're
But
so
this is
cute.
Otto. Say hi, Otto. Say hello.
Hi, you're a happy baby.
Yes, he's a hefty baby. He's 100 percentile.
Oh my goodness. Hi,
Yeah.
he's crawling. Is it
Yeah,
crawling now?
almost. He's
Almost.
scooting. Yeah, he's
Oh,
scooting. But he's 100 percentile. We just got back from one of his doctor's appointments and he's about 6.5 months old and 25 pounds, basically.
Wow. Oh my
Um,
goodness. Look at
and
you.
we made arrangements with our surrogate. So she's pumping milk for us and then
Oh,
overnighting it to us. So that's a really great,
that's
um,
great.
yeah,
That's great
to
that you
make sure
guys
that
have
he's
that.
nourished and
Yes. Oh my goodness. You're so beautiful. You're so big and handsome. Mm. So cute. Oh my goodness. That period of the babies is so cute when you just want to kiss them, hug
I
them.
know his cheeks are so big. Yes.
They're so cute. Thank you for being here, Otter.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Awesome. So, what were the highs and lows of these journeys, of your journey in surrogacy?
Yeah. Oh, what a great question. Okay. The highs of the journey, our initial high was just getting matched with folks that were normal and not crazy. And we didn't know what kind of people we would expect to meet in this process. Um, and we were quickly matched with the absolute most perfect family ever. We live in Texas and they live in Missouri in St. Louis. And
Mhm.
so it was more ideal that we had a family from Texas, but we were open to other states. And that process ended up being a lot easier than what we thought. So definitely the highs were like meeting our surrogate and her husband in person the first time. They came down to Texas for the first few times. And then once she got to a certain age of pregnancy, then her OB took over in St. Louis. But that was definitely a high, like just being matched with somebody we instantly felt trust with.
Yes.
And I mean, goodness, what a blessing to have that innate trust at the very beginning. Um,
It's
our
important.
low would definitely be we went through one unsuccessful transfer. Um, so that
Mhm.
was definitely a low because so much work and energy and organization had been put into everything. And while Matt and I had had failed transfers before and lots of, other roller coasters in terms of IVF. This was the first time that our surrogate had experienced that. So for her to go through some of the ups and downs was um, a little difficult for me to watch, but we were just so encouraging and like, we'll get it next time. And we did. And now we have Otto.
That's so great. Always, you need to be positive and believe in the process and also trust the process. You just said something important that I heard from the other IPs as well, that when you are matching, you're matching with someone stranger out of your family, out of your somebody that you don't know the background from, forever. And it's like you had to be able to click with these people, right? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
important part of the process to trust, like you
Hmm.
said.
Yeah, and we're lifelong friends. I mean, instantly we all hit it off. We have similar personality types, and it's been really, really fun. I mean, we still text at least weekly. At some point in time, we were texting daily. But they have two boys that are in grade school kind of age, and so they like seeing pictures of Otto growing up
Oh,
and
you're
yeah,
always so
keeping them
connected. So
involved.
it's like, oh, he was here with us.
Yeah,
So cool.
totally.
I guess important the relationship is also important, right? Build this relationship because even though, biological is not connected to them, the fact that she carry and, put her body to bring the baby to your family is very important.
Hmm.
It's a connection.
Hmm.
It's like a godmother, kind of like that. That
Exactly.
you will always be able to, talk, connect through social media, through phone, maybe sometimes visits. You never know. But it's a
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah. How did you choose the professionals you worked with? And what was the first thing you did? In this case, husband.
Yeah. Okay. So how did we choose the professionals? Well, um, you know, uh, a lot of my doctors were actually in the Austin area,
Mhm.
and I never quite had a referral that I really liked or felt really strongly about.
Mhm.
Um, for example, like I knew the doctor that was not a fit for me was an hour and 15 minutes late for every appointment, and we weren't going to do that. And so the next doctor that we found was Dr. Failer at Aspire, and it just really felt that they had everything dialed. Things were very scheduled and regimented, and it felt obviously that they were experienced throughout the whole process. And then, of course, first impressions mean a lot, and just knowing her ability to guide us through the process was the main reason that we decided to go with Aspire. And then in terms of selecting a surrogacy agency, I actually interviewed a total of three agencies that were referred to us, and maybe even four. And the people that I talked to were pleasant, but I didn't feel like a human connection until I spoke with Perla. And it was obvious that Perla had a passion and a talent for what she does. And this was absolutely the best agency match for us.
That's great to hear because the reason why I'm here is because of the team and starting from Perla. When I
Mhm.
saw the humanity, the point to be here is not just to help you, but to be humans because this is a
Uh-huh.
process that is a human baby coming soon to life. So
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
have that feeling, that connection as well.
And one thing I'll add is our attorney in San Antonio actually knew Perla from another, like some of her earlier
Mhm.
career moves. And our attorney told us a lot about Perla's background, about the types of agencies that she worked from, and how she was handpicked to start Fairfax. And so not even Perla telling me everything, but our attorney, you kind of when someone is in when someone else tells the story, sometimes you're even more impressed. And so our attorney, her story about Perla and her recommendations, just yeah, really how Perla was handpicked to start Fairfax and to
Yeah.
create a company like this. Yeah,
And she handpicked everyone that is working here as well. She
yeah,
always makes sure that the part that we cover the most, even though the professional part is the humanity. Is like, what's your cause? Why are you here? Why did you want to help? So it's amazing.
yeah.
So it's great to hear that. I know she's going to be so happy to hear. I love to
Yes,
hear good things about my team, my boss,
yeah.
and the agency as a whole. But thank you for that. Um, I think we already talked about it a little bit. What was the journey like, and how did your relationship with your gestational career develop?
Yeah. Yeah, we had, at the very beginning, it was required through Fairfax that we have like a group therapy session all together in person when we met. And we were able to discuss a lot of things and just get it out in the open. And that was so important for us as strangers kind of leaping into this trust fall of a process. And so to have a group of folks kind of guide us and show us the steps of where to go and how to do it. It was really nice to have Fairfax available to guide us in that capacity and to show us the way of how to develop a positive relationship with our GC and her family. And our counselor, she actually said something that was kind of a theme of our relationship moving forward, and that was, if you're wondering about it, just ask. And if it was, coming up in your head, and if you were thinking about it, and if it was something that turned into wonder, then just ask. And RGC She is actually a medical professional and she works in labor and delivery rooms, actually. So she's very qualified, more than qualified to be our surrogate. But anyway, so we had a really great relationship with her because she was able to be very objective and deliver medical news and talk about it and even educate us in ways that we would have had to Google or ask my mom about.
That so both the agency case manager, the
Mhm.
counselor, and the GC were connected with the information.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
That's
That's actually,
fantastic.
yeah, what the counselor and our case manager definitely helped foster a really great relationship between us. Yeah. Having a case manager is the reason why we did not go with a friend or a family member as somebody to be a surrogate,
Mhm.
because we wanted a low drama, experience.
Yeah.
And we felt like hiring the help with experienced folks that know the process. We felt like that was the best way to achieve a low drama atmosphere.
It's like, here, here's my hand, take me, guide
Yeah.
me. Instead of
I
learning
got you,
by
Mom.
yourself what to do, where to go, what's the next step? Like, you know what I heard from people interviewing about surrogacy, like the first time they heard about surrogacy, and they mentioned, you didn't mention this, you mentioned friends, but everybody else is mentioned baby mama.
Oh,
Mama's baby?
yeah.
No, baby mama. Baby's mama.
Uh-huh.
Baby's mama. And so it's so funny. It's like, yes, that's kind of like people would think of surrogacy. But
Yeah.
I haven't watched the movie, but I will. I will because
Yeah.
I heard it 4 times. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
we
right.
got a pattern here.
Uh-huh.
We need to see it. That's fantastic. Okay, Adam is like, Mom, hurry up.
Oh, he's great. He's just playing. He's just playing.
Okay. Okay, so the next question I have, well, I have few, but
Yeah.
what did you wish more people understood about surrogacy? We were just talking about the movie.
Yeah. Let's see. Um, Surrogacy. So there were some folks, well, everybody was absolutely thrilled that we were going down this path. Nobody was offended. Nobody was worried about us. Everyone was really thrilled that we got matched with someone that we really truly trusted and loved. Maybe some of what I wish people knew more about surrogacy is maybe your first impression is that it happens between, two gay men that need a woman to help. But then there's folks like me that I needed help carrying. And so to have another lady to help was fabulous. We had a few friends and family members that didn't realize that the baby was completely our DNA. So that was, I mean, but it was very easy to explain to them, like, no, he's all ours.
Yeah, those are the myths, right? Like, is she going
Uh-huh.
to give up her own baby? That's not her baby. She's just
Yeah.
carrying it. She
Yeah.
is the babysitter.
Yes, she's the babysitter.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's a way to convince to make people understand, like, what is it? Because it's a concept that is not new, but it's not so well known.
Yes,
Awesome. Yeah,
right.
awesome. What advice would you give to other intended parents considering or currently navigating surrogacy? In this case, intended parents like yourself, involving
Hmm.
women, mm,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah, my advice is patience is key. Um, if if it's a husband and wife team, I would suspect that maybe some folks that have made it all the way to surrogacy, they've learned how to be patient because they've tried on their own. Um, but the patience of of getting there and then the ability to have help of people that truly want to help, just accept it. And it is great to accept that help I'm a pretty independent lady, but once I was able to let go and admit that I needed help, um, life has really blossomed in a great way, obviously, since then.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a way to say to tell about life,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes we are our worst critics and our worst people to accept things, and help is very important. And I am
Mhm.
myself, I put myself sometimes like I need help and I'm not going to ask. But then when
Yeah.
you do, then you feel, shh, I needed it. It's
Mhm.
blessing. Okay. What does surrogacy mean to you, and how has it shaped your understanding of family?
Oh, what a cool question. Okay. Surrogacy to me is an extension of my family in more ways than one, right? Like, obviously, I get some amazing offspring that comes out of it, but an extension of like basically a family and a new set of family members and friends that we have a once in a lifetime connection with that the normal human being does not have that opportunity to have someone else carry their baby for them. So we're connected on these really unique terms. But what a cool way to create a lifelong friendship with another family. And so I think that's what it means to me is just the growth of my family in more ways than just having a baby.
What is one misconceptions about surrogacy you wish more people understood?
A misconception about surrogacy, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily have to be as complicated as it might feel like it is at the beginning. Um, when we worked with Fairfax, they had, if I would have seen the whole timeline from day one with Fairfax all the way to the day that we got Otto's birth certificate in the mail, I would have been really intimidated by that whole process, because there was so much to do.
Okay.
But because of our case manager's experience and because of their ability to just give us the bite-sized pieces that we needed in that moment, it
Mhm.
made the process feel so much easier and easier to digest and easier to, I don't know, just experience a day at a time. So while it does feel like a great big project, at the same time, it felt really good that we were able to just, experience it a day at a time and be able to get
It's like, Mom, hurry up.
and be able to get this little guy out of it.
Awesome. Hi, Adam. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. He's not looking. He's like, wait, this is fun. The
Yes, he
air.
likes my gold necklace. Yes.
Ooh, hi. Hi. Was there a moment in your journey that gave you hope or made you feel reassured?
Uh,
I think I heard
let's
few.
see here. The
I
moment in our journey with that gave me hope and made me feel reassured
Mhm,
is on our when we experienced our second transfer,
mhm,
and we made it past the pregnancy date,
mhm,
and we had confirmation that this baby was still growing and healthy. That felt really exciting. And,
yeah.
to get to that 20-week mark and see ultrasound and imaging and heartbeats, and that was pretty spectacular to make it to that point.
I bet. I bet. That's what I was waiting for that answer because we heard that before. I'm like, she already mentioned that, so I know what she's gonna say. Because
Mhm.
I imagine like when you lost the first one, you'd be like, no, you said it. We are gonna do this. We're going through. We have hope. This is what
Yes.
we're meant to do. So
Hmm.
yeah. Okay, let's do the fertility questions. So what will what was your biggest challenge in facing infertility, and how did you find strength during that time? I guess before
Yeah.
surrogacy started.
Yeah. My biggest struggle with fertility was I just my women parts are really complicated, is the best way to put it. Um, and maybe other women can relate if they're looking at surrogacy. I mean, goodness, I had polycystic ovarian syndrome. I had a dermoid cyst on one of my ovaries. I had fibroids and polyps and all the things. Um, I had some of those things removed, and I suspect that that surgery gave me endometriosis because that is a risk of having surgery. But I do kind of suspect that having surgery gave me endometriosis and adenomyosis. So anyway, when all of those things combined just made my ability to carry really just darn near impossible because my yeah, our embryos would just basically starve because they weren't getting the blood supply that they were needing. So that was kind of the reason why I wasn't able to carry, but we had really great medical help through Aspire in San Antonio and obviously through Fairfax and now here I am with a 6.5-month-old baby.
Yeah, with a beautiful baby boy that we want to eat with kisses. And he is full of, he loved the attention, so he needs it. He's like, Mom, I'm here. Pay attention
Yes,
to
I'm
me.
here, Mom. Look at me.
Just wait until he start like talking a little bit or making sounds. He's going to want your
Yeah.
attention 100%.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. How has infertility impacted the way you talk about family building with others? I guess this is
Yeah.
more surrogacy.
Yeah, it's giving me a lot of goodness. Having fertility issues has given me a lot of perspective when talking about it with other folks. Um, and I mean, really not even fertility issues. I mean, people that would like a family and for whatever reason, they just need help. It's made me really open-minded, I guess. But also it's made me really curious, and want to be able to support people where I can. There's been, through friends of friends of friends, sometimes they need um, an extra point of view from somebody when they're going down this journey or they've got questions about it. And so I've enjoyed connecting with other people about it, just to share what I've gone through, um, just as an extra voice of experience to help them in their process and their journey.
That's great. So in that in on that comment or answer, how was your support system, friends, family? How what was the role that they play in your journey?
Yeah. Our family and friends were an incredible support system. We absolutely could not keep it a secret that we were going down a surrogacy journey. So we told everybody. And when our first transfer was not successful, that was a great big roller coaster for everybody involved. And
Yeah.
while we got a lot of really great support from everybody, our second transfer, we actually decided to keep that pretty quiet and pretty secret compared to our first one. And we left it with our friends and family that no news is good news, and if we have bad news, we'll share it with you. But we had great support, and so when we were able to finally celebrate together, it was a very sweet moment.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's great to
Yeah.
hear. It's a roller coaster of emotions, right? Yes, no, 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 what
Yes.
can happen? So yeah, sometimes it's good to be quiet and wait because
Hmm.
it would involve a lot of people's emotions and that can come to you too, the
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay,
Yeah.
two more questions and we let Autumn go because he wants my
Okay.
So, what message of hope would you share with someone currently facing infertility?
Yeah. The message of hope I would share is, man, taking, if you're all the way to this point of your family journey, It seems like you're probably open to taking a chance. And Fairfax was a great experience for us. Everybody involved with Fairfax was absolutely great. And so taking a chance or taking a risk with Fairfax did not seem like that crazy of a risk for us. But one thing that was really the thing that was motivating me is that I knew that I would regret it if I didn't at least try. That was the thing that I told my husband was if I didn't try, if we didn't try to go down this road of surrogacy, I think I would look back in 20 years and I would regret at least not trying. So that was a big motivating factor was I didn't want to experience regret by the time it was all done.
Yeah, that's great. It seems that you went through all the process of trying to become a family, to be a mom on your own with the IVF after the second step, and then going to, okay, what's happening, and the option to have surrogacy was like a hope to, okay, I still can become my baby's mom, right? So
Mhm.
that's a great thing to do. Before, thinking about it, this is more open to the world right now, but before was an option, maybe a hidden option, maybe a taboo, or I don't know, because I mean, we heard about the surrogacy stories before, but you heard about them after, right? After that happened, especially with the celebrities when they do it, but
Mhm.
they don't do it for a real reason. Not most of them. They do it for
Yeah.
vanity. No, that's different. But it's
Mhm.
interesting to hear the beautiful story behind how Autumn came to this world. Because mommy and
Yes.
daddy was actually they were waiting for him to come, and whatever that channel was, they will wait for him. So Autumn, baby. Oh, he's
Baby.
tired. He's like, I want to sleep. That's so cute. Okay, the last question. So I'll let you go, Adam, and go to eat or go to bed. I guess it's time. And what is something you wish people understood about infertility and its emotional impact?
Well, what I wish that people maybe understood a little bit more about infertility is that I mean everybody experiences it differently. Some people really have baby fever, and some people like myself, I just knew I wanted a family. I didn't necessarily have baby fever.
Mhm.
But either way, the amount of time involved in discovering going through tests, discovering what's going on with your body, just the amount of time that it takes to kind of discover all of these things. And for if you get news, for it to kind of um, to sink in, and then you finally feel like you really understand what's happening with yourself. It's a lot of jargon, it's a lot of medical terms, and trying to being able to understand it fully, it just takes time. And thankfully, in my instance, we had time and we were able to be patient in the journey. And that maybe ultimately got us to doing surrogacy because we were so patient. Had we been in a bigger hurry, we might have just stopped at IVF and not even gone through or through a surrogacy journey. So yeah, patience and time is really the theme of my story, at least.
Uh, so you're saying is if you are facing infertility and you have a choice to become a family through surrogacy, that's a hope. So don't just give up if you really wish to have your family created.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
don't give up hope. Yeah,
Don't give up.
definitely don't give up hope. Um, I mean, our like I said, we started our IVF journey in 2020, and now it's the beginning of 2025, and I've got my 6-month-old baby with me. So our journey took about 4 years, but half of that was IVF with us, and then
Mhm.
the other half was with surrogacy. But yeah, wouldn't change anything for anything.
Oh, that's great. Would you repeat this journey for a second child? Would you be able
Uh,
to do it?
yeah, I think we would. Yeah, I think we would. Um, yeah, there's a lot to kind of consider, but we're
Yeah.
definitely open-minded to it. And
Oh,
using
that's,
Fairfax, definitely a second time
oh,
would be in the
yeah,
cards.
of course. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Carrie. I'm gonna let you go
Of
because
course.
baby Autumn wants to go, and I really appreciate your time talking to me, to us, to everyone out there, share and wanting to hear more about surrogacy. What is surrogacy, and how is the journey for each couple? Everyone's different. Every pregnancy is different, and but there is one goal here, and it's to create families. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Oh, I was closing, but what would be your advice to a mother who is thinking or considering surrogacy for others to become a surrogate?
Oh, wow. Um, what a gift. What a gift to give somebody. Our I have so much love and adoration for our gestational carrier, our surrogate, and she has really become a lifelong friend. She and her family really have become lifelong friends for us. And I would definitely encourage somebody to look into it, especially if that is a calling that you have.
Exactly.
Um,
It's a calling.
we yeah, we were just so blessed to have our surrogate actually do it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think the same. I think if we have moms wanting to become surrogate because that's a call and they can, it's a gift. It's a
Yeah.
call. It's 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 just beautiful. Well, thank you
Yes.
so much, Carrie. I'm going to let you go because we actually made him fall asleep.
We did make him fall asleep.
Cute.
He's like, Mom, you're too crazy. That's
Okay.
okay.
But
Thank you
thank
for
you
your
so much.
time.
You
I
have a
appreciate it.
fantastic day and hope to hear more stories and
Yes, you
sharing more
too.
soon.
Thank you.
Bye.